Welcome back to Broken Electronics. I'm Lee, and as always, it's wonderful that you can stop by for today's adventure in computers. And the computer in question, here in Studio B, is the 2009 Mac Pro 4,1, which has now been flashed to 5,1. In our last episode, we installed macOS 10.13 High Sierra, which managed to get a lot of things working, including the return of the RX 580 graphics card. Today, we're taking another step forward. We're going to upgrade to Mojave. Now, this is a necessary upgrade because it does involve yet another firmware flash. This one, among other things, but most particularly, involves the ability to boot from PCIe attached NVMe drives, which of course is going to be very, very important. That's the fastest storage we can get on this machine, certainly. So, by the time you will have finished watching this video and the two preceding videos, you will know about all there is to know about doing firmware flashes on a classic Mac Pro. And to tell you the truth, it hasn't changed that much. The oldest machine on which I've personally done a firmware flash was a late 1999 PowerMac G4 Sawtooth, which has now become, it wasn't at that point, but it's now become what I like to refer to as the world's most powerful sawtooth. And it hasn't changed much. Hold in the power button, the light flashes, the tone sounds, the optical drive pops out eventually. Alright, so if you are interested in following along with this step in the progress of this machine, I would ask you to please stay tuned. Alright, so here we are on the High Sierra desktop. Since the last you've seen this, I did have to do two security updates. I don't know why those couldn't be bundled into a combo installer, but there you go. We have to do two separate ones, an update to Safari and a bunch of app updates. Of course, we're not going to be on this that long. Now, we need to look in about this Mac. Of course, we've seen all of this. You'll remember, of course, we did our triple channel sideways upgrade to 96 gigabytes of RAM. But where we want to look right now, again, boot ROM version, because we're about to change, this too. That will be very, very different once we've finished this firmware flash. All right. Now, the last time we install macOS Mojave, we saw the issue of it not allowing the installation because we had not done the firmware flash for High Sierra. Alright, now when we start it, to install macOS Mojave, a firmware update is required. To complete the update, click Shutdown and wait for your Mac Pro to power off. Next, hold the power button until the power indicator light flashes or you hear a long tone. The gray screen with an Apple logo. We've seen all of this, of course, many times. Alright, now, I will click Shut Down, but before I do that, of course, I've got to end this the screen capture. Otherwise, there will not have been a whole lot of point in having done it. So, please stay tuned. Okay, we're going to see if we can get this the first time. Pressing in the power button and holding it. And this took a good 15 seconds or so when we did it the last time. So patience is a key. There's the flash. We should hear the beep soon. Here it is. Now I'm going to leave you focused here. Watch the optical drive openings there. Once this gets started and the machine has verified that this is an appropriate update. And it was just the upper one that time. Ah, they both went. Oh, these are kind of dusty. This thing needs a definite cleaning. All right. Guess it's going to be the second monitor. That's the one that's showing anyway. I would have expected it just shut itself down. Now it's restarting again. Let's see what it does. I'm suspecting it's going to boot to the Mojave desktop. Yeah, it's booting all right. Yep, and here's our purposes of video, I should probably enable automatic login. I am kind of doubting. Well, let's see. It did it. 144.0.0.0.0. That's what the firmware is supposed to be. Isn't that funny? Because we didn't see, what we didn't see was the gray screen with the Apple. No, I don't want to take a tour of High Sierra. I'm leaving High Sierra. Don't remind me of that. We'll be gone soon. All right, well, onwards and upwards. Always an adventure. I don't remember it ever doing that. All right. Yep, going 7 minutes remaining pretty quickly. All right, now obviously it's going to restart itself. It's going to be running for a while. We will bring you back when something more exciting has happened. Stay tuned. Okay, it went all the way down and it did take like 12 minutes and it's now restarting, so let's restart. There we go. I don't know why it shifted desktops there. Yeah, with a High Sierra install, it shut down, and it was a very short period of time on that screen we were just looking at. getting a black screen. Lucky us. Okay, and true to form, it's shifted itself over to the second monitor. I enjoy these two monitor setups. It's very handy. But when you're trying to record installations like this, just something of which I've done a lot, it's kind of awkward. All right, obviously this is going to be going on for quite a while here, so I shall spare you that time. I'll watch it for you. Stay tuned. Okay, well, something strange has happened here. The screen, just shortly after I ended the last clip, the screen went black, and both screens are black right now. Now, the power light's on. I have no way of knowing if anything is actually happening or not. So about all I'm going to be able to do here is wait and see, which is awkward, to say the least. But in any event, stay tuned. All right, pretty clearly, this is just stuck. And about all I can think of to do at this point is to force it off, start it again, and see what happens. So I'm going to do that. Okay, it's off. I'll start it up. Now, I think one of two things will happen. One, it boots back into High Sierra. Two, it boots back into the installer. Let's see what it is. Okay. Well, this has got to be the installer, from the fact that it's progressing as slowly as it is. I should have enabled verbose mode so I could see what's going on here, but I didn't. Well, anyhow, my friends, stay tuned. Okay, it did exactly the same thing. Okay, I'm going to try one other thing. Power it off. And restart it with the Option key held down. Just to see what kind of options it gives us. The only operating system currently installed is High Sierra. Okay, so we're waiting for the bootloader. Yeah, you know, it gives us the installer, and it gives us, I'm going to boot back into no, I can't do it. Aha. Can't do it. Interesting. Okay. So we're doing this again. I guess now the only thing we can do is to try this and just let it run. Okay, yeah, and the installer is now started again. And the screen's going to go black. And I'm just going to let it go black and see what happens. Stay tuned. Well, guess what? I have no idea how this happened. Really none. But clearly Mojave is installed. Why the screen blacked out? This is a Mac flashed card. I have absolutely no idea. But I guess it's a happy result anyway. Okay, I've got to log in. There's going to be a lot of housekeeping things that I'll need to take care of here. The initial setup, there's going to be a bunch of security updates. But once that's done, we'll be back with some final thoughts. Stay tuned. And we're back. All right, just to indicate what's going on, there were in fact two. There was a security update and a supplemental update and a Safari update, and I also updated DaVinci Resolve while I was at it. And okay, in doing those, the security update and the supplemental update, the same thing happened. The computer restarted and the screens were black. I did the same thing. I just let it go and it came up and everything was fine. I see my Wi-Fi isn't on, but you know that doesn't really matter because I've got it plugged in via Ethernet. Good Lord. Okay, so here's what has to be going on. Yeah, and I forgive me for that moment of panic that I was going through in recording this video. Obviously, the problem's the graphics card. I have purchased graphics cards from Mac Vid Cards. I have also purchased them with very good success from an eBay seller in Australia. This one I picked up from an unknown eBay seller with the results that you see. There's something about the way this card was flashed. It does show the boot manager. Thank heaven. That's a very important thing. It's good to know that it does. But once you get into installations of operating systems, it shows you nothing. Now note, the earlier firmware flashes in the previous two videos and the High Sierra installation were all done with the GeForce GT 630. Not this RX 580. So clearly that's got to be where the problem lies. Now I've used this card in other machines rather frequently in doing Big Sur installations primarily. But of course doing that I've got OpenCore loaded and you're booting from the OpenCore EFI, not the Apple EFI. So, yeah. So that's what it is. Now, the intelligent thing probably would have been for me to shut the machine down, just take this RX 580 out and put, I don't know where I've laid it. Oh, here it is. and put the GeForce GT 630 right back in. Man, what a thing. Okay, well, in any event, we'll look at about this Mac. 10.14.6 with all the security updates, by the way, and our same processors, same RAM, all of that's the same, still with the Radeon RX 580 with 8 gigabytes of video RAM, all of that's good. Alright, going into the system report, yes, we see, first of all, we are still identified as a Mac Pro 5.1, and our boot ROM 144.0.0.0.0. Now that's the farthest it's going to go. But it's got us here, and it opens up many, many, many things. Now, you'll ask, I'm sure, what comes next for this machine? I'm going to stay on Mojave for a while, and the reason for that is as I go through significant hardware upgrades, I want to make sure I'm on an operating system that is natively supported on this machine. And I do have several. The next video I'm planning on is storage upgrades, increasing the storage, both SSD and spinning hard drive, adding an NVMe SSD. You know, all of those things are very much planned in the works. Beyond that, I am going to upgrade the Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. Yeah, and that's one I want to do it, and I don't want to do it. I want to do it because it's such a significant upgrade. I don't want to do it because it is such a pain in the neck. But I know I can do it because I have done it before. And processors. This machine will eventually become, assuming that I'm successful, a 12-core dual CPU at 3.46 clock to bus speed. So there we have it. Okay. Be good to other people. They need it and deserve it. Be good to yourselves. If we're going to make the world a better place, we have to start by being good to ourselves. Sadly, this world is not a better place yet, so please take very, very good and careful care in these most difficult times. Yeah, the next video up should be those storage upgrades, and then I will get to the Wi-Fi Bluetooth and the processor upgrades. I may throw some G4 things in between. I don't really know yet. I have several G4 things that I have been planning on doing for quite a while. Alright, but regardless of what comes up when, until it's available on the channel, this has been Broken Electronics.